But which civilization in history actually tried and failed? The Egyptians, man, they tried to take the stuff with them. Thousands of years later, there's all their stuff. We can't. We try, and we can't. And now I'm just going to really give a bad pronunciation of possibly a quotation from Bhagavad Gita. In this life, from childhood to youth to old age, we are constantly changing bodies. The time of death is another change of body. And the self-realized soul is not bewildered by this change. So what does that mean? Well, we talked about possessions, you know. What is one problem with possessions is they're temporary. That new car you get, the moment you drive it off the lot, it's a used car. 5 minutes later, it's a used car, right? And so the problem with possessions is they're temporary loan, but we think they're forever. And what is the most difficult possession we're going to have to relinquish? Our body, right? So Bhagavad Gita talks about this. So in this life, from childhood to youth to old age, we're constantly changing bodies. What does that mean? Eddie mentioned it, about all the things that are changing in our body. I didn't know those specific numbers of length of time that each of them were taking, but every 7 years, approximately, everything in our body has changed. Yeah. Okay, I'm 56 now. That's 8 bodies. Who is David? Who is this person I keep introducing and saying, I'm David? When I was born, I weighed 7 pounds, 11 ounces. My parents said, oh, we'll call him David. David begins to grow. At 7 years old, I get a new bicycle. I'm like, woohoo, my name's David, check it out. When I was 14, I'm like, hi, my name's David, I'm 14. And when I was 21, hi, I'm David. And so, who is David? I thought he weighed 7 pounds, 11 ounces, or is the boy with the new bicycle, or is that 21-year-old guy? If I lived on 77, that's 11 bodies, so who is David? The body's constantly changing, so we already have to acknowledge, well, that's changing, so who am I? Oh, I know, I must be a collection of my thoughts and my memories and my personal experiences. That's what I am, that's who David is. My father passed away in the year 2000, and he had Alzheimer's. I don't know if you're familiar with Alzheimer's, but it's a painful thing to witness. Yeah, it's a loss of memory. And, you know, in yoga we say, be in the present, just be in the moment, man. I'm telling you right now, that is a kind of a hell. Because that is Alzheimer's, there's no memory of a moment ago. So you're looking like, who are all these people in here? Right? Or, where did I put this? I don't remember, so I figure someone stole it, and so it's frightening, right? And so there's all this stuff starts to happen. And my father was a brilliant man. He was an incredible orator. He could dazzle people's language. He was a trial attorney, a criminal defense attorney. He could stand up. He read the dictionary for fun. He liked words. At the end of his life, he did not recognize his own wife. He would interview me with a yellow legal pad and a pen. He would sit there and say, so, tell me, what is your name? And tell me a little bit about your case. And he would be going like this. And I look over his shoulder, and he's pretending like he's writing. There's just scribbles on a page. Yeah. I hear my father's voice. I see his face and his body in front of me, but who is it? If our mind can be erased, all of our thoughts and memories and experiences are erased in a moment like that, and our body has changed, what's left? We're stripping it away. It's like all these things are malleable. They're changing. So in this life, from childhood to youth to old age, we're constantly changing bodies. The time of death is another change of body. All right? So what does that mean? Let's say I'm a deer, and I'm in the forest, and it's a beautiful spring day. The morning dew is still on the ground, and there's fresh shoots of grass coming up, and the early morning light is filtered down through the canopy of the forest, and I hear birds tweeting, not like people, you know, sending tweets. Actual birds making sounds, and I'm so peaceful. It's like this beautiful moment. Now, unbeknownst to me, in the forest is a tigress, very stealth. closer and closer and closer. Then this tiger bursts forth from the forest. Pow! And I turn and I see these massive paws with claws, dagger-like claws sticking out, and these jaws like this bearing down upon me. Now what is my emotion? Is it still a good day? Things have dramatically turned from this peaceful and blissful moment into stress and anxiety. Now this is graphic, but it's what tigers do. Wrestles me down to the earth, kills me and eats me. All right? Now that is a mother tiger that just killed me. And she goes back into the forest where her babies are waiting. And she still has blood on her face and her paws from the kill. She goes back to the forest and her little babies are waiting. And they see their mother approaching. What is their emotion? Are they frightened? Are they freaking out? Are they in anxiety? They're like, woohoo! Mommy's here! For them, she represents safety and warmth and comfort and food and all of this stuff, right? So the mother comes back and she wants to move her babies from there to there. How does she do it? The same jaws, right? That were so fierce with that deer. Now the same powerful jaws, they pick the little baby up with the greatest of care. And what does the baby do? They go limp. They're like, okay, Mom, just chill. Like, don't sneeze, nothing. I'm just going to chill here. And they go limp. And the mother carries them with great care and gently places them on the earth over here. Fine, great story. Now, in that story, what do the jaws of the tiger represent? Death. Okay? Every one of us in the room will confront this at some moment in our life. Death. Life is a terminal condition, right? How many 200-year-old people do you know? It's going to happen, right? No question about it. At the time of death, let's say we can still jump through and we're like, no, check it out. Don't do this. It's not going to help, right? So, at the time of death, if all I have identified in this life is temporal things, my identity is my physical prowess, the way I look, the things I've accumulated, my position in society, the amount in the bank account, the car I'm driving, all these things, that's all I know is this stuff, yeah? Then death is going to be like the deer. Anxiety, stress, pain, misery, discomfort, it's the unknown, it's all this stuff being ripped away from me and it's all I know. If, however, I am fortunate enough in this life to gain an understanding that my true identity transcends the temporal nature of this body, and that actually my true nature is a spiritual being, a spark of spirit that transcends the temporal, constantly changing nature of this physical world, then that lucky soul, the self-realized soul at the time of death, will be like the baby tiger, will be able to surrender and understand I'm being carried to the next thing. Okay. Then you're like, well, why are we doing all these asanas? And this is the paradox of yoga. I think that all of these asanas is just a trick. At first we just think it's all about the body, but the more you do it, it's meant to train us that we're not the body. Use the body to figure out that you're not the body. So, in the practice of yoga, this idea of without possessions, we understand that, and maybe it's a little bit of a misunderstanding, that it's not that we have no possessions, but it's our understanding of them, our relationship with possessions, and understand that it's on temporary loan. Even your ability to do an asana, at first asanas, they're like currency. We're excited. We're throwing them into our asana bank account. We're going, wow, I'm wealthy, man. I've got first series wealth, second series wealth, advanced series wealth. We want to get more wealth than the person next door. Wow, Tim Miller has advanced day. I want to get advanced day. I want to be wealthy. And honestly, you do this long enough, you're going to start donating those things to charity. I don't want that one anymore, or that one, and take this one for sure. And And so the possessions, even if it's an asana, you're going to have to give it up at some point. And so the sooner we can understand this, but it doesn't, and the paradox of it all doesn't mean you don't attempt to grow and progress, but to understand to relinquish it. So Aparigraha is not easy. Yeah, it's permeates everything around us. Every ad, everything makes us think these objects are going to make us happy, and they do for a moment. But then you got to have the latest one, the newest one, the iPhone 5, and then the iPhone 7, and then the next one, the next one, the next one. Right? There's an app now for happiness.
Is it free?
But it's free. So anyway, I'm going to cut it and put it out. So at any rate, that's what I have to say about that.